Listen up, I got a story to tell. Okay, the story takes place in about 2005, a little bit outside New York City and New Jersey, during my college years. I was talking to this girl that I was cool with. We used to smoke, drink a lot, or whatever. Wasn't my girlfriend or nothing, but I would hang out with her and her friends. Um, she actually had a house. Uh, Her and her friends had a house a little bit outside of our school, and it was summertime, and I had went out there for my. I was always living on up at school during the summer, so I never left. So I was living on campus, and I had went to hang out with her at her house. Her and her friends were throwing a little get together. So while we're there, mind you, I met this girl up at my college, which is somewhere in North Jersey, and I'm from Central Jersey. Well, it just so happens that one of her best friends happened to be from where I was from as well. They were older than me, and she was from the same area as me as well. We actually went to the same high school, but I didn't know her while I was in high school. Well, anyway, fast forward to the story. I go to this house with the girl I'm talking to, and then she has her best friend there, the one that I know from the high school, or at least I know of from the high school, who happens to bring a friend with her this weekend. The friend happened to be someone that I also recognize from my town or from my school, and I've known her. She's there older than me, but I've known them since I was, I don't know, maybe freshman high school. I didn't really know her, but I know of her. So this was the first time we ever got to get to talking. We're drinking, we're smoking, having a good time. And then everybody seems to pass out except for me and the girl that was brought up from my area. Um, Me and her begin to hit it off while everyone was sleeping. We're talking. So, I was young. So somehow, while the girl I was talking to was sleeping in the bed, passed out, drunk, me and this girl decide we're going to fuck. And it happens in the room while everyone's sleeping. Nobody knows. Well, now me and her have so much fun that we decide we don't want it to end and we're not ready to go to bed. So I decide to invite her to my apartment back on campus, which she gladly did. So I went downstairs to sneak to get my car while she packed her bags and was going to come downstairs. Here's where it gets interesting. So I pull up in front of the house, but there was no parking spaces, so I'm double parked waiting for her to walk outside. Well, while I'm sitting there, this truck tries to squeeze by me instead of waiting for me to move up or asking me to move up. And he basically dents my car. He smacks into it. So now I got to do a whole police report in front of the house while I'm waiting for this girl to come down. We're supposed to be sneaking away. And now we got all these police officers outside the house, outside of the house. And so when she comes downstairs, I can't just immediately leave. So now, of course, I get the blame for the accident because I was double parked, even though I wasn't moving and the person hit me. But because I was double parked, I was at fault. Fine. So me and this girl, after an hour being outside, luckily no one came out and caught us in the middle of this, which would have completely prevented me and her from going back to the apartment that I was going back to my apartment. Now, me and her decide we're going to head back to the apartment after the cops leave and all the information is exchanged. And we're driving back to the apartment, and my boy is calling me. He lives with me in the apartment. Now, it's me, him, and some other random person living in this apartment. So in that apartment, my friend, he kept a safe because you keep your important stuff inside a safe. You can't really trust the people in your dorm. You don't know what's going to happen, so you keep your stuff in a safe. So when I get back to the apartment with my boy is frantic because someone has stolen his safe, which is a problem. This is about 8 or 9. Yeah, I'd say about maybe 8 or 9 in the morning. Now the safe gets stolen, and at the same time, I was already on my way back because he needed me to give him a ride because he needed to drop his car off somewhere in Newark he needed to drop his car off in Newark to get it fixed. And all this is happening while he got the safe stolen. So now I got the girl with me that I just took from the girl I was talking to's house to my house. Now we walk into a house where my boy's safe was stolen, which is going crazy over it. Now he's pissed off and panicking, but he still has an appointment to take his car. So I gotta follow him because he needs a ride back. So the girl gets into the car with me, okay? And we go follow him all the way to Newark. Now, mind you, I haven't slept since maybe 30 hours ago. And maybe So while I'm driving in the car, we were drinking all day. I was getting tired and groggy, whatever it was. It was about 8, 9, whatever time it was, 10 in the morning, and we're following. As I'm following my boy in the car, somehow I fall asleep behind the wheel. Broad daylight, 10 o'clock, I fall asleep. Well, next thing you know, I wake up. I'm over top of there were about 5 newsstands. You know, the ones you put quarters in to take the newspaper out of. I ran over all 5 of the newsstands, smashed into them, ran them over. Now the girl that I have in the car, she's in the window sill somehow. I guess she didn't have her seatbelt on. I wake up, she's up in the window sill. The car has damage on the side of the car, bad damage, but nothing too crazy where I couldn't pull it off. So I end up running over these newsstands while following my boy with this girl in my car. Now my boy's bugging. He's like, what the hell's going on? He's looking in the rearview mirror. He has to turn around. He comes back and he has to he's like beeping the horn. He's the one who basically woke us up because I passed out. Everyone saw it was the middle of the daylight. I did a hit and run. I ran stupidly because I still had to get my boy a ride. So then when I do this, after we give my boy the ride, what I did first was I parked the car somewhere close to where he was dropping the car off. So of course, when I parked the car was in I parked it in a parking space that said no parking between the exact hours I was there. It was only a 2-hour no parking for 2 hours for whatever. I think it was a street sweeping parking. And I didn't see it because I was so frantic about the accident and sleeping. And I have a girl that I just stole from the girl I was talking to's house. And my boy's safe just got stolen. And mind you, once we dropped him off and we walked back to the car, of course my car was towed. Now we're missing 2 cars. 2 cars are missing. Now the girl who I have in the car, she has a car, but it's parked in a parking lot all the way back to where we were at. But I can't get her there because we don't have any vehicles. So we end up having to take some kind of taxi to get the cab, to get to her car. Finally get back to the apartment about 2 o'clock. It was the biggest wasted day that I ever probably. That's what happens with karma, guys. It's just a story about karma. Don't do people dirty because things end up bad for you. That's all I can say.